Discuss how you can use language in a diverse culture to make your message clear. Well, I think language is defined as the system of communication used by a particular community or country. So I think if you were to use language in a diverse culture, we need to be aware of the diversity that's there. Are we talking about America? Are we talking about somewhere like Africa? Are we talking about somewhere like India, where their culture and the way they communicate, the way they use their language, is different than the way that we may use ours. Like in America, we always expect our public speakers to be well dressed, proper, good posture, eye contact, body language, body posture, not moving around too much. But in places like Africa, as our book has referred to, they use a lot of pathos. They use a lot of emotion, a lot of emotionally charged actions to influence their listeners, and that's how they make the message clear. Whereas we are used to a lot of logos and a lot of ethos. We like our public speakers to be credible. What makes them worthy of speaking about the topic they're speaking about? We wouldn't want to see, let's say, Oprah talk about military defense when she hasn't been experienced. She's not experienced in that area. From my personal experience, I like a lot of logos. That's what influences me. If you have facts, you will persuade me with facts, and that's what to me, facts are what will make your message clear. Whereas that might not be the case for everybody. Some people like a lot of ethos. Maybe people can be influenced easily by pathos, where pathos has pretty much no effect on me. In my family, they use a lot of pathos to make their messages clear. It's so if we're making a decision that's going to affect the rest of our lives, my mom might come up to me and give me the lecture, you need to weigh out the pros and cons. What are the cons to you? Are they worth for all the pros, type of deal? But yes, I think you have to be aware of the culture that you're talking about, and the way you're going to use your language basically does affect on the diversity that you're talking about. Because America is a diverse country, and those are usually our social norms for the most part, in my opinion. Because language choices arguably have power to influence others, create guidelines for ethical language use. Well, when I talk to others, I try to use a lot of metaphors and similes. That's my language code, I guess you could say. Example, life's a game of chess, be aware of your pawns and what you're really going after, or ignorance is bliss, things like that. Those are my expressions that I use often. I think for guidelines for ethical language use, you should definitely avoid using negatively charged similes and metaphors. There's been a lot of school shootings lately, so just as our instructor was telling us, try to avoid a speech with guns and everything, because you don't know who you can influence. If you talk about gun safety law and that everybody should have a gun and everybody should exercise the right to use guns, one of your audience members may feel like they do have the right to use guns for whatever they feel is necessary. And if you don't define those principles, we have incidents like we've had lately where guns are being brought onto school campuses. And so I think you need to be aware of what you're speaking about and how it can influence everybody. Always be on the safe side compared to really throwing your opinion out there, because somebody might misinterpret it, and you may have more power to influence others to make negative choices than you think. So always try to stay on the positive side of things. I recently gave a speech about the Ferguson case and how I think we should go out and peacefully protest. I was very careful with my words because I do have the the power to influence my peers, but I didn't want them to be the protesters that were rioting, and looting stores, being destructive, starting police riots. And I was just saying peaceful sit-ins, what is considered a protest and what is considered breaking the law. I was very clear on those principles, and even then I didn't talk about that topic for long at all. It was probably like maybe a sentence or two, because I didn't want to really elaborate on the situation. I didn't want my audience to say like, hey, this guy, he's right, we should go out and protest and we should take what we want, blah blah blah. So you really do have to be careful about the words you choose, and just be careful with the language, because it does, there has to be ethics when you have to have good ethics when you're giving a public speech. Thank you.